Hello my Owlettes, how are you guys doing today? So today I am ready to move into, well, we're still in February, but I'm ready to create my next journal. So I'm going to be using a little golden book. If you ordered this month's kit, it came with a rabbit themed little golden book. So it could be anything from Peter Rabbit, like this one. I took this one because it had already missing some of its parts off the book, and so I just took it as the one I'm going to be using. Plus, I'm a huge fan of Beatrix Potter, so it worked perfectly. Even though this isn't her art, this is the story. This is her story. It's just illustrated by somebody else named Cindy. So let's go ahead and get started. So I basically took the book apart, and I'm going to link a couple of videos down below from when I did this in the past. And you can see how I've created, how I've taken the book apart. I have a whole series on junk journaling, and I believe I use a little golden book. I also have this one that was my Easter themed book. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but this one I also will link below on how I created this one. I know we worked in it. If you've been following me for a while, thank you so much. But if not, this is one that I created a while back for our spring journal. So it's something I can always continue to add to. But I wanted to include this month's, include a little golden book into this month's journal, and I use use a composition book, and I alter it to make it into a journal. I've been doing this for about 2 years now, using a composition book, and I am loving it. So it's something that I've tried to do other journals for my creative daily journal, but I always go back to the composition book. I also have already taken this apart, basically just taken the string out by using scissors and my awl to remove the little string line in here, but I figured we would go ahead and put it together. So I originally used to have, I still have it, it's somewhere, you guys, you know, hot mess central over here with me moving my trying to move my workshop area out into my garage, and it's gonna probably take me all year. I thought, oh, I'm gonna get it done in January. Here we are at the end of February, and I just got out there not too long ago, and I was literally, it was freezing cold last Saturday. It was windy. I mean, I had layers on, and but I feel like I'd much rather work in cold conditions than hot, sweaty conditions. Okay, so I still need to I would like to have it almost done before the summer, and then, yeah, so enough about that. That's been an ongoing thing for how many years now? Okay, maybe not quite years. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started to assemble our journal. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm also going to use some of this paper. It's one-sided. Like, this is really pretty. Anything that reminds me of March, because usually this should be March and April's book. That is going to, it'll probably go that long as far as having, usually a composition book will last me 2 months. So I'm just going to select some pages out of here that I want to include, because I'm making this into a junk journal, so to speak, because it's going to have all these different papers in there along with the little golden book. So I think these just repeat themselves. Let's do one more. Okay. And this is from the Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. And I've learned, I used to not like one-sided paper because when I scrapbooked, I wanted the heavier paper. But now that I'm normally incorporate these pages into my journal, I like the thinner paper because it actually it actually works better as far as like creating a what do you call it? Not so thick paper in my journals. So I'm just going to fold these in half because I'm going to actually cut them down to fit inside. Now I guess the most trickiest part for me on this would be because what I do with my composition books, if you guys are new here, then you wouldn't know, but I glue 2 pages together. And so that's kind of the tricky part of creating a junk journal, is because you want to be able to have those 2 pages. Look at my bone folder. Make a more precise fold. You want to be able to have 2 pages of composition pages to be able to glue together, if that makes sense. Now, if I know that sometimes I'm off by, you know, 1 or whatever, a lot of times I'll just take one of these thin papers, one-sided papers, and glue them down onto to make that paper thicker, because what I've noticed is the composition pages are just not, you know, they're not real thick. They're notebook papers. I got string hanging off me. Okay, so in order to do this, I'm going to need an awl, which if you look at my past videos, I actually have a kit that comes with waxed paper, but I'm going to actually be using this. Now this is a lot thicker, so I might have some issues getting this through, and I found a needle in my sewing kit. So we're going to give this a whirl. Again, usually I'm working with a lot thinner. Everything's like made for that book binding, and I can leave a link below to if you're interested in finding a book binding kit off Amazon. They're really inexpensive. They're like $7. So okay, so typically with the way the little golden books are, they come like this. So even if you combine them, the story's not going to be in order. But since I'm using this as a junk journal, I'm okay with not having it in order, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to go through this and kind of decide. I don't think I'm going to be using every single one of these book pages in my journal, but I will keep the book pages aside so that I can actually like cut this out and put actually put an image in my book, like just cut the image out and glue it in. So I'm just going to kind of flip through here and see if there's any ones that I don't really want to include, just to create a little bit thinner. Let's see. I think I'm going to take this one out. Just to not create such a thick book, if that makes sense, because I still want to have room to write, you know, and since I'm going to be putting some of those papers in, actually, I think I'm going to take those out. And I'm not one for putting it, I mean, you could keep it in order. I don't, since it's put into separate books like that, it's going to be hard to keep it in order if you go with this this design of taking it apart and putting it in my journal, since you have to have that crease. But if you want to create the book like I have in the little golden book, you can definitely keep it into the same keep the whole book in the same order. Okay, moving on. I think you guys understand, right? It's still kind of early this morning, so I think I'm going to have this as my cover page. And I don't have to have it. I'm just going to cut this much off and see. And you can actually make these different heights, which is probably what I'm going to do. Make some the length. And I'm just eyeballing it. Make this one more half. And you can even make it more whimsical and tear it. Anything goes, you guys. Whatever your heart desires. Okay, so let's get this assembled. So now I usually take out a total of 14 pages out of here. Well, 7. So I'm going to do, since I'm actually going to be having a few more of these in here, I'm going to go ahead and take out 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that way it removes some of that bulk, since I'm going to be adding these pages in here. And then you just go through that process. So I'm going to put this one on the outside. And keep in mind, I'm still going to be making it my journal and including my my monthly stickers, my BBG girls in there. And this, like that. Now I might have to end up taking out some of this bulk. So I'm going to do 2 pages. So that's where I'm going to glue these together. So I'm going to go ahead and count out these. So that's 1 page, 2, 3, 4. Because remember, I like to do my cover page of my BBG girl, which is like the month. I mean the girl, and then I have my monthly spread, and then I have my brain dump, or what I've been doing is putting pictures in, and then I can start my actual journaling on the 1st. So then I'm going to do, let's go ahead and add this in there. Let me see how many I have in here. There's not that many book pages, actually. Excuse me, actually. So I'm going to do 2 more, because I'm going to glue those together, and I'm going to add a book page. These little bunnies are so cute. Look at your little mouth with his little babies. That's so cute. 1, 2. Add a page. 2, 3, so I'll have 3 pages in between the next one. And I'm going to do one of these. Do the half page up here. And sometimes I can just be adding like an extra page in there. Like extra pictures. It doesn't have to necessarily be a page. And this is our last page of the book. And 1, 2, 3. Put this in. And now let's count it out. So that's 1. Because I'm going to be gluing those pages together. 2, 3, 4, right? Okay. I want to add 1 more page in here, so let me see, what are the ones I took out? Let's see this. I don't want to put the cover page in there. I'm just going to add this one like that. And then we have a very fluffy book, right? You know what I didn't bring? There's my placeholders for this. I'm going to need those. The clips. Let me go get the clips. Okay, so I have to get my clips to hold my pages in place. Now, you might notice that once I bend these over, some of my pages are going to stick out, which I'm totally okay with. If you're not okay with that, you can always trim your pages down or cut back on your pages that are in here. So I'm just going to clip these into place to hold my book, because you want that to be as hold on, let me, you want to hold those pages as still as you can in here. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Okay. So maybe I should put this one up here too. It's been a while since I've made one of these, you guys. I think I've like just used my composition book. It seems so odd for me for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and punch 3 holes, right? We're going to bind the book together. So luckily with these altered the composition books, it has these little holes in there. So I use these as a guide. And I just kind of estimate where the middle is. And I punch the awl. You want to be careful not to hurt yourself or poke yourself. I've done that many, many times. And then just basically, you can tell it's not in the middle. It's a junk journal, you guys. It's okay. Okay. So voila. So I've done that one. And then I'm going to use these as a guide. So I'm going to go three holes down on each side, which is probably about maybe 1.5 inches. Now if you're using a different book, if you're using a different other than a composition book, you can definitely use a ruler and measure it. Ta-da! Yay. Okay. And then I'm going to go 3 down right here. 1, 2, 3. And punch a hole there. And I'm so impressed that it all went even. Ta-da! Okay. Now, you get your binding, right? And this is a waxed cotton cord. Like I said, it's kind of thick, but 2, 3. I always kind of do it the length of the book 3 times. Maybe get a little more. Okay, now the decision is, do you want your cord on the inside or on the outside? I'm going to choose mine on the outside, I think, this time, because I think I'm going to probably cover it up with my cover. So take your needle and you're going to go through here into the inside. And what I mean by outside, you're going to have your cords on the outside. So when the end product will be, your cords will be on the outside. If you want them on the inside, you're going to start with your needle from the inside. So I'm going to bring that forward. This is always the tricky part, because for one, I'm nervous with this needle, and 2, you want to make sure the hole has to be big enough to pull that needle through. Come on. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm like pushing it up against my body to try to push it out. There we go. Maybe this will do it. Again, I'm really kind of skeptical with this cord Let me see if I have my tool over here. Maybe it can help me out a little bit. Got my hot glue gun on and I just grabbed it. Okay, so I'm going to use this tool to help me. There we go. I just put lotion on my hands too, so I don't think that did me any favors. So I'm just going to keep a little bit of cord out on the outside because we're going to use that as tying. We're going to come up and we're going to go through that top hole there. And we're going to bring it through. Oh, that was a lot easier. And then we're going to, so we bring it up through here, come down through, it doesn't matter what side, because we're all going to end up sewing. And then we're going to bring it down the spine, and we're going to bring it back up through this hole. Now I'm looking kind of like doing little papers apart because me showing and doing all that kind of created a gap there, and I could kind of look in there. And sometimes I have, in other videos when I've made these, you'll see that I've had to like kind of like peel my book apart and look and redo it, because sometimes if I put too many papers of different sorts in there, it takes a while to, I've had it where it like kind of not comes apart, but where I have to like find the particular hole and bring it through. But in the end, you can adjust, you can tighten, you can pull, and things like that. The whole concept is to just get this cord through your book, and then you can adjust it as needed. So for example, if you had you pulled your cord and this had a loop in it like that, you're like, okay, let me pull that. Okay, that's tight. Close your book, pull it. That kind of thing is what I mean by adjust. Okay, and then I like to put the center cord in between my knot. So I'm just going to come in here, and I like to do a double knot because that's going to hold your book in place. Take your clips off, and there you have it. You've created your junk journal, or, you know, mine isn't as junky as it could be. But remember, we are going to be decorating it, so that's going to make it so much like your own. And then what I do, again, I think I'm going to be covering this cord up. You can add charms on here. You can do whatever. I mean, this could be used for many things. I'm just going to trim it off for now and make it even. Like I said, I may come in, I think I might come in here since I'm going to be doing my cover. And probably maybe run these down here and glue those together. Maybe glue them up like this. I don't know. We'll see. Actually we're going to do that right now. So let's make, now that we've assembled it, let's put it together. So I printed this off this is one of my artwork. And I was trying to think, because I used to sell individual little traveler's notebook with my art, but I haven't done that in a while. And now I sell these printables to where you can order this. You can go to my website, look up art, and these are a download. And so I was like, I don't think I've had this as my cover. And this girl always reminds me of March. I think it's because she has her, you know, Irish red hair and her green. So, and this is probably one of my, because I did all seasonal girls when I started doing this on canvases, which I miss, you guys. I haven't done a canvas in so long. But I'm going to put her on my cover. And I printed her out in an 8x10 size onto sticker paper. But before I do that, on the back side, I bought this material at a secondhand thrift store, and I wanted to use it on my journal. So I think I'm going to add it to the back. But I wanted to create like a more of a softer back cover. So I think I'm going to put a piece of felt first, and then put this on there. Let's just see what it feels like. Yeah, I think I like it better because it's more softer. I want to see, I have this piece of white felt. Oh, it's like perfect size, isn't it? Okay, so let's do the white felt. So I have my hot glue, which I went back and forth whether I wanted to use my fabric glue or my hot glue, but I think to put it on my back, I'm going to use hot glue. So I'm just going to go down here and generously add some and try to hurry before it starts drying. And of course, we're right on cue to have Pokey Park, right? Okay. Okay. And then I think I might put some of this on here. Just to hold that felt in place. And this is something that I can come back and adjust on this, because it really is the edges that I worry about sticking. And I can come back and adjust those. Like right here, where the hot glue melts, dried too early. I can come back and repair it throughout the use of my journal. And actually I plan on adding some pom-poms or something on my edges. But, okay, because I want to make it soft, So let's add, I'm going to actually use this to add it onto the material onto my, the felt. And I'm going to put quite a bit of this. This is Fabric Fix, by the way, glue. But who's with me on the shock that it's already March, you guys? That means like the first quarter. I look at it too from like paperwork. And I'm like, how did this happen? February just zoomed by. It always kind of does because I feel like it's a short month, but it's not like it's that much shorter, just a few days. I'm just going to kind of like make a big X here. And if you have your sewing machine, I'm going to eventually have my sewing machine again. Do we need to talk about the garage? I will have it because I want to start doing some other things with my the sewing machine. My mom let me borrow hers, and she's got the old metal 1970s, I'm thinking, Singer sewing machine. That thing sews so dramatic. I mean, like smooth. Okay, and I think I found parts to my old sewing machine over the weekend. Yay! Okay, I'm gonna use my pinking shears to cut this down the side. And then for this, I should have that glue turned upside down. I don't know if these are very sharp. Let's turn it, put this aside, and then let's trim this down. And then, okay. All right, so we have that going over the edge. So I'm going to tuck this string in here and pull it up, and this string in over here and pull it up. And then let's add our girl. I'm going to stand up so I can look over the top here. Make sure I add her at the very, very, very top. Okay, and then bring her down. All right, yay! I love it when I can get it even. Let's hope it's even. Okay, and then I'm just gonna tuck her over the edge here. Okay, so and then I'm going to bring my material up. I'm going to put a bunch of glue down here. Get my fabric glue out. I'm going to glue, and that will hold that cord in place as well. And if I would have done it like on the inside, then it would have, I wouldn't have to really worry about the cord having that extra string. But that cord that I found to use is really thick, and so I didn't really want that inside my journal. So I'm just going to put that up very carefully, bring it over. Am I going to run a little short on my material? Let's see. I should have made it, kept a little bit more material maybe. Like that. Okay. So that's going to hold it somewhat in place. And once it dries, it's going to do better, but let's go ahead and add something else to secure that in place. Let's go find some ribbon or material. Let's see what I got in my drawer here. I got that. Whoops. I have this. I have this material. Let's see what else I got. I have some sparkly ribbon, which you know I want to be using some sparkles. Let's see what this, just trying to see, would this hold, the sparkle hold up? It's very pretty, isn't it? Just wondering if the sparkles were, let me see. They seem to hold up. I'm running my fingernail down the, okay. Let's give this a try. It's ribbon. I'm going to cut a little bit longer just so I have enough to work with. This was, the other one was pink, but I don't really have any, well, there's some pink on here. You know, pink is my signature color, but we're going to go with, oh, looky here. Oh, there's not enough, I don't think. I was like, oh, I could use, this just, I don't know, it just adds more funkiness to it, I think, too. This gingham, doesn't that look pretty? Let's give this a try. Okay. Let's cut with our pinking shears so I have a edge on it. By the way, you guys, I just found my pinking shears, so I'm all excited. I want to use them. They weren't floss. They were in my, I have a drawer that I call my tool drawer that has like, you know, hot glue guns in there. It has like extra scissors and things like that. And they were in there and I was like, well, there you guys are. Okay. So, yeah, I like that. That's pretty. Plus, I'm going to be adding lace, so I wanna make it. I think I'm just going to do. That's another thing with gingham, is it gives you a guide with its strength, with the lines. And two of my favorite combinations, which is pink and green. Okay. We'll add that sparkle to another page, right? Okay, so I'm going to open this up so I have a better surface to work on. And we're going to bring this down the center. I don't want to cover her little hands up. Okay. Get the fabric glue out. And I'm going to go on one side. Because that's really where I'm needing the closure, so it doesn't show that cord. I'm going to bring it over just a little bit. We are going to be adding lace in just a moment, so this is going to have to sit and dry. Got glue hands, but that means I'm having fun. Okay. And then I'm just going to come down and add a little bit more on this side. Okay, the material is very thin, but I'm just going to cut it and cut that cord off as well. And trim this side. And like I said, it's going to have to dry a little bit with that fabric glue. But this stuff dries fairly quickly, so. Okay. Now, now I want to add some lace. That was part of the plan too, is I have this big spool of lace. Anytime you guys go to like estate sales, I'm sure if you're a pro, you know, but I always try to find, I always find this bulk lace, which I love. I don't know, it's just not. Yeah, I guess it is working for me. Her hand's going to get covered. I don't want her hand to be covered, but then I don't get to see the pink gingham from the front, which I guess is okay. But I like it to see the pink gingham. Okay, what else do I got over here? Do I have anything? Everything's going to probably cover. Unless I do it this way, which I was kind of not wanting to do it this way, where it kind of goes up, but when I put it in the bookshelf, it's going to cause issues, so let's see. But I don't want to cover her little hand up. Okay, well, let's see. Got this pink ribbon. What to do, what to do. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. I can always add this on the inside cover. But I want to see that pink gingham and I don't want to cover her hand up. So the decision has been made. We're going to keep it as is. I'm just looking to see if there's something else I could add over here. Here's some more sparkles, which is gorgeous. You know, I could do a little cluster down here. Did y'all? Oh yeah, y'all saw the little book I in my last video that I have of Peter Rabbit. I could put him, but he's too puffy for a cover. I was thinking I could do like a little cluster down here, but I'm gonna keep it as is right now. Now I am gonna come in and add a cover on the inside. And punch holes, you know, and we gotta make our charm for the outside. So we still have a lot of things we're gonna be playing with, but for now I'm good with this because I don't wanna cover up that gingham. I like it so much. But oops, I can come in here and I see some of my book is shown down below. We could do lace down here if I wanted to, but again, it's, well, that may not be too bad. I don't know. We're gonna keep it as is for now. You guys kind of get the idea of adding the book pages in. I still have to glue this, but like how, and it feels soft on the outside. So yeah, and I still want to put some, I think I want to add like some holes here, and this part still needs to be, you know, I'll come in here and work on it as I finish it up, but I did, at least now I have my book in place. Look at this, I just saw this, sorry. That would be cute. What if we do this? Yeah, so endless possibilities, you guys, but I did want to get my book together and in place, and now I have my next journal ready to go. I could put washi tape down here to cover that up, but again, get messy, have fun, be creative. You know, the thing that's fun about these kind of journals is you can continuously add to them as you go along, so there is no like rules of like once you make it, that's it. So have fun, you guys, and thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in my next video. And as always, stay sparkly. Bye-bye.